Hey there, and welcome to Breakfast with Mark Daniels from Monday, January 27th, 2020. Weather for Long Island this week looks like daily highs will be in the upper 30s to low 40s, nighttime lows in the mid-20s to around 30, and we stay dry through the entire work week. We start with some sad news today. 18-time NBA All-Star Kobe Bryant died in a helicopter crash yesterday just north of Los Angeles. 9 passengers were on board that helicopter, including Bryant's 13-year-old daughter. No one survived. During his 20-year career with the LA Lakers, he won 5 championships and became one of the greatest basketball players of his generation. Kobe Bryant was 41. On a much lighter note, the 2020 Grammys were on last night. The show opened by Lizzo and hosted by Alicia Keys, both paying tribute to Kobe Bryant. Despite the competition from artists like Ariana Grande and Taylor Swift, the big night went to Billie Eilish, who swept all the big categories, including Best New Artist, Song of the Year, Album of the Year, and Record of the Year for Bad Guy. The show was packed with musical performances, but my favorite was the performance by Camila Cabello. She sang a song called First Man, which is about the first man she ever loved, and that being her dad, who happened to be in the front row of the audience. And when she came off the stage and sang to him, there was not a dry eye in the house. This is Super Bowl week. I guess you could call Super Bowl Sunday the Christmas of all sporting events. And as we all know, it's a one-day winner-take-all event, thus the hype. And as we mentioned, the game sometimes, especially if you don't have a team playing in the game, has become secondary. Well, at least for some people, it's much more of a social occasion, and it's all about the commercials and the halftime show and chicken wings. There are a lot of restaurants across Long Island that are hosting Super Bowl parties. It's a pay one price, eat and drink and be merry. There's probably a restaurant or 3 in your neck of the woods hosting Super Bowl parties, but if you're stumped, you can go to Newsday.com and search Super Bowl parties at restaurants, and you'll find a long list right there. Today is National Bubble Wrap Day. I don't know how a thing like that gets a national day. More importantly, it's National Chocolate Cake Day. I do like a good piece of chocolate cake every now and then. And every now and then, I like to make my own chocolate cake. You know, that Betty Crocker yellow cake mix or the Betty Crocker super moist chocolate cake mix. And then, of course, you have to top it with that fabulous rich and creamy frosting. I mean, really, when it comes down to it, there's nothing like a home-baked cake. Which leads me to the question, when it's someone's birthday, and let's say you do bake one of these fabulous cakes, when do you stop putting the number of candles for each year that they're celebrating? I mean, if somebody's celebrating a 49th birthday, let's say, do you put in 49 candles, one for each year? Or do you buy the numbers 49 in candle shape? There are people that actually put in 49 candles because it has become tradition. Biggest problem here, of course, is that you end up running out of cake real estate to accommodate all those candles, and then when you try to light them, there's always 5, 6, or 7 of them that go out before you actually present the cake to the person celebrating their birthday. Plus, all those candles have a funny way of driving home the point of how old you are when you're celebrating your birthday. I think if you have 2 candles in the shape of the number 4 and 9, that somehow takes the edge off. If you're someone who loves putting lots of candles on a birthday cake, we'd love to see a picture of it. You could share it on Breakfast with Mark Daniels on Facebook. And before I start the next segment, I have to make it perfectly clear that I, A, do appreciate the friendship, I do appreciate the thoughtfulness, and I absolutely appreciate the hospitality. Okay, with that said, Mayor and I were invited to a party. Nice, right? But this party is a theme party. Guests are encouraged to dress like the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel show. I'm certainly not here to offend the host. That's not what this is about. I want to check your temperature on how you feel about theme parties. To me, a theme party is Halloween. Here we go again. Didn't we just do this in October? I know a lot of people think this is a lot of fun, playing dress up, just like you did when you were 7. I like to be invited to a party and go and have fun, but I get it. Let's do something different. Okay, if we're going to do something different, let's play a board game. Let's play Jenga. Dress up is maybe just not one of my strong points. And I guess it's a lot of work.
It's not really a lot of work. I think you're overthinking it.
You were on the couch this morning when you got the invitation, and you were scrolling through all of the different dresses and shoes. And look at this is a cute dress. Oh, it hasn't, what did you call it, an A bottom? I mean, you're scrolling. This is so cool.
A-line.
A-line, A bottom, whatever. It's supposed to be 1950s, right?
Yeah.
Now, all of the 1950s kind of clothes that I had, I guess I'm just referencing all my old suits, I threw out, never thinking that I would need all of that old stuff for a party. You always said, get rid of it.
Actually, I think I might spot one in the back of your closet with some dust balls.
We attended a New Year's Eve party, and since it was 2020, the theme of the party was the Roaring Twenties.
So fun.
It was a lot of fun. The party was great. But, again, I get that stress and anxiety thinking that if I don't dress up with a nice, 20s outfit, I'm going to be the guy, oh, look, it's Daniels. He never participates. What a loser.
Do you know how lucky you are? You can wear the same suit for the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, almost any kind of party. It's way harder for women.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally agree. And I get that. It's just that, okay, what am I going to wear? Again, all of my stuff was donated because you said clean out the closet. All of the good stuff that I could use for theme parties is now somewhere else.
It's gone. So that's why we just jump online and we look at 1950s clothes. Super fun. Super fun.
So much work.
It's not.
So much work.
Point and click.
Maybe it was just as, a kid, I really never even liked dressing up for Halloween. So maybe that's part of it.
Oh, well, it definitely is because I love dressing up. Any kind of dressing up.
Such a girl thing.
It is. It's fun.
When I was little, I didn't play dress up. And now that I'm an adult, I don't play dress up.
All you have to do is put on a suit.
My suits are donated.
Not all of them.
Well, those, what are you saying? My current suits look like they're from the...
Pretty much, yeah.
So what about you? How do you feel about theme parties? Yes or...
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
We know how you feel. Yes or no? You can comment on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. And now on to cars. Recently, when my wife went to work, she pulled over and took a picture of an error that showed up on the dashboard, as maybe you saw on Facebook or Instagram. The error said, unfortunately, Tunner has stopped. So I'm pretty handy with cars, and I saw the word Tunner, and I'm thinking, what is a Tunner? Tunner? Is this a thing that only certified auto engineers know about? A Tunner? Because I literally had no idea. So I got my friend Google on the case, and I typed in, unfortunately, Tunner has stopped. And what came up was this. Tunner is actually tuner. Somehow, when the car went to production, the person that programmed the software to tell you that the tuner has stopped working didn't know how to spell tuner. And if you look up the word tunner on Merriam-Webster's dictionary online, here's the definition of tunner. It's British. A brewer's workman in charge of a ton. A ton? A ton of what? Obviously, that Tunner and this Tunner were two completely different things. I guess spell check just was not available when they were writing the software for this car. Just think how many Hondas are out there with the word Tunner in its software that when the tuner goes wrong, that's going to be displayed. I'm actually surprised they didn't do a recall on it because that's embarrassing. Listen, I am not one of the world's great spellers, but I know that if I'm typing something in that's going to be in the software of thousands and thousands and thousands of cars, that there is a slight possibility that that error might come up, I'm going to make sure I get my spell check out. And the bottom line was, once the car was restarted, the Tunner got itself together and worked properly. The other stupid thing about cars is the dreaded check engine light. This little gem came on in my wife's car as well. She called me one day to tell me it was on. Fabulous. And suddenly, life comes to a grinding halt at that very instant because you don't know what the heck it means. Should I drive the car? Shouldn't I drive the car? Should I immediately proceed to a service station? Should I drive home? Or should I just go about my day and ignore it? I mean, after all, the car seems like it's running fine, but that little light is always there. Something is wrong, and it wants your attention now. It is the most ridiculous invention in automotive history. It's telling you something's wrong, but we're not going to tell you what it is. It's somehow implying that I'm not smart enough to understand the problem, so you need to consult a professional. I have no problem consulting a professional. I just want to know what the problem is. I know there's a lot of places you can go to have the code read. Why is the check engine light on? They'll do it for free, places like AutoZone. But oftentimes when they do read the code, there's a list of things that could be wrong, but you don't know which one is really the issue. If humans had a check engine light right in the middle of your forehead there, let's say it's your kid, and they walked in and you saw the thing was lit, at least you could say, hey, what's wrong? And they could probably say something like, oh, my stomach is upset, or I hurt my ankle, or whatever. The car can't communicate with you, obviously. It would be nice if when the check engine light came on, it would tell you exactly what was wrong. So we're not driving around thinking that, maybe this car is going to blow up. At least in that way, you could determine whether you should continue about your day or go to the next service station you see. As it turned out, after one visit to AutoZone to get the code and then another visit to the dealer who sold me the car, the problem was simply a faulty gas cap. A less than $20 item made me crazy for about 3 days. And speaking of driving me crazy, the last question of the day. The question no one is comfortable receiving. That question: what do you want for dinner? My wife will always position it as if to say, well, whatever makes you happy makes me happy, honey, which is far from the truth, because she and my daughter are very picky eaters. And it definitely narrows the menu down to chicken, well done, pizza, or pasta, none of which I'm a fan of. My interpretation of that is, well, I'm too busy to think about this or deal with this. You probably have more free time than I do, so now I'm dumping this problem on you. Dinner. So I often respond back by saying, I don't care. What do you want for dinner? And even if I initiate the question, let's say I haven't heard from her in a while, it's getting late, what are we doing for dinner? Even if I say, what would you like for dinner? I'll get the response back that says, anything you want. Here's what I'd like to have happen. I don't know, maybe 3 out of the 5 times that dinner is discussed. From my wife, she would say, hey, I'm going to make a great meat sauce, meatballs, and Italian bread for dinner. Or she could say, hey, what about if you made your famous chicken soup? Okay, at least it's giving me a path, an idea, a direction. Just that vast, wide open space of, what do you want for dinner? That's terrifying. And you know the conversation. You know how it goes. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. What do you want for dinner? I don't know. What are you in the mood for? I don't know. What are you in the mood for? I don't know. Tacos? I don't want tacos. No, well, you didn't tell me that.
Wow, you're totally blowing this out of proportion.
No, just admit it. You want nothing to do with what to make for dinner. Just admit it. You don't want anything
totally
to do
not
with
true.
it.
Not true. Not true. I always ask you what you want for dinner because your tastes are definitely more eclectic than mine and Allison's and the rest of the family. So I always want to see what you're in the mood for.
All right. Well, what if I wanted grouper in a flambe sauce? How about we have the grouper with the flambe? And you'd be like, oh, no. How about steak on the grill? Oh, meat.
We'd have to invite our friend Nicole over for kale and quinoa then.
How about lamb chops, pork chops, roast beef? Oh, I don't want that. It's the same thing. So what you should do is, A, get involved with this. I don't think you're involved enough with it.
Get involved?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you get involved?
By thinking and creating in your head, what would be good for dinner tonight?
Well, you know what it is? It's just that food doesn't interest me like it interests you. I'm being genuine when I'm considering your feelings about dinner because I want you to be happy.
What would make me happy is like when you do the laundry and fold it, that makes me happy. It's the same thing with dinner. If you handle dinner, I don't have to worry about it.
I have absolutely nothing to say to that.
This isn't about interest. This is really about taking on the chore of dinner and running with it. Run with it.
I'm running away.
Run. Somebody hands you a baton in a relay race. You take the baton and you run with it. That's what you always do for me. You hand me the dinner baton. Run with it, Mark. Go ahead.
Just don't come back with the grouper flambe.
I might. So we want to know, who makes the dinner decision in your house?
Is it you, your spouse, a joint decision?
Obviously, you like it to appear that you're making the choice, but really you know that it's me. And I'm done with this decision. I'm going to get McDonald's every night. What do you want for dinner? McDonald's. What do you want for dinner? McDonald's.
McDonald's?
You can comment on Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. That'll do it for this episode of Breakfast with Mark Daniels, and I thank you for listening. Breakfast with Mark Daniels is available on Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Alexa, YouTube, and Buzzsprout.com. Just search Breakfast with Mark Daniels. I love getting email, so you can send me a note at breakfastwithmarkdaniels@gmail.com. That's the same place you can inquire about advertising with us, so we can help you grow your business. So we can help grow Breakfast with Mark Daniels, all I ask is that you like and share. Thank you. Have a great day and a great week, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for Breakfast with Mark Daniels.